of fate.
This is the way. Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Tells me when you'll remember this.
Hello, critics, non-critics, and friends. Welcome to the Film Optix podcast, where we take a glance into blockbusters, indie films, and everything in between. I'm your host, Christian, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend / my co-host, Devin. And today we're here to break down and give our insights on The Menu. It's making me hungry. This movie's called The Menu, and all I can think about at the end of that movie is that I just want a really good, like a nice, good old-fashioned American cheeseburger. And before we begin today's episode, you can listen to our podcast on podcast platforms around the internet. That includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. And if you are a new or seasoned listener to the show, we would love to hear from you guys. Follow us on Instagram, and you can finally follow us back on Twitter at FilmOptix, or email us at filmoptix@gmail.com for any movie-related questions. Devin, we're back in business. We got the Twitter handle back. We had to do a little bit of reconstructing altogether. But yes, you can follow us at Film Optix. No Film Optix Pod, just at Film Optix. Again, that is Optix with an X. We finally got that handle. That I just got to say, job well done.
Yes, chef. Good job, chef.
Yeah, chef. So yeah, that was a crazy week, especially everything that's going on with Twitter right now. Everyone seemed to have been saying their final goodbyes like last night, because there's a lot of analysts out there and saying that Twitter may not, last throughout the entire weekend. A lot of people are not going back to work for Elon Musk, understandably so. But in the midst of all this craziness, Devin, how are you, buddy? How's your week been?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, we got Thanksgiving next week. We made it through the week prior to get to that. Got most of the week off. Have to work Monday, but it's okay. It should be a good week. We got to watch this movie, The Menu, and it was a nice, pleasant surprise. I will say, before we dive in, the irony is not lost on me that we will be critiquing a movie like this, which just takes the piss right out of critics of all types.
Well, we're not that kind of critic, Devin.
There's definitely some similarities there when she was like, when the one critique lady was talking about how she just feels so special to get the invite, like when we get screeners or screenings, like you can't tell me there's not a little bit of that.
I don't know. I mean, as a movie, see, I don't like consider myself like a movie critic. I just like movie. Like, I'm a movie fan. Like, I feel like we're both movie fans, but I guess we are diving into this.
Well, Tyler would say he's a food fan, so hopefully we're not like that either. Nicholas Hoult's character.
I think you might be right in some ways. I just don't know. Like, we're diving into the, the high society, all the screeners and stuff, but I don't really think that we're there yet. Cause they were like, everything out of their mouths. I'm like, are these,
this movie's just a friendly warning. Just don't get to this level. Don't become these people.
No, do not. Because it is, talk about pretentious. Like, that was super pretentious. I was like, are they together? Or are they, just critics coming, looking to shut down another restaurant altogether? But yeah, man, it has been a long week. I do agree with you. I'm off all next week, luckily. So get a nice little break altogether. I'm just, I gotta decompress. And how I decompress, I don't know. Maybe just watch movies. I was going to play some God of War, but can't really take that on the road with me since I'm heading home for a week. I could, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But have you been watching anything outside of, The Menu? Like, have you been watching any new TV shows, or kind of just trying to get through the week altogether?
I know it's crazy to think about, but I'm watching an anime series currently.
Is it Attack on Titan?
No.
Is it Naruto?
Nope.
Is it wait, is it Oh, what would it be? What would it be? It can't be anything.
Very westernized, just like Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop.
It's like Cowboy Bebop, but it's
Oh.
cyberpunk edge runners.
Oh my! Oh, okay. I guess that counts. You got to watch Arcane. I've been telling you to watch Arcane. It's very good. It's very good.
If only I cared about League of Legends.
I don't care a rat's whatever about League of Legends, and I love that series. Like, it doesn't make me want to play the games. I just really enjoy the story, and the art style is phenomenal.
That's why I watched Cyberpunk, because I've already loved the world of it, playing the game,
Okay.
so it's easy to get into.
Yeah, I have been watching Schitt's Creek for the first time.
I've always heard good things, but I never dove in.
It's much like The Office, where the first season, if you get past the first few episodes of Schitt's Creek, it's really, really good. But with The Office, it's like you have to get through the entire first season. But I'm on the second season right now, and I'm really enjoying it. It's very satirical, very not much dry humor, but I mean, Daniel and Eugene Levy, the creators of the show, it's perfect. Like it's just a fun comedy to kind of just, turn your brain off, decompress, relax, yada, 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 all that stuff. But yeah, I've been watching Schitt's Creek. I've been semi catching up with DC Titans season 4. But outside of that, I don't think I've been watching too much else. Besides the menu, of course, which we're going to be talking about here today. But yeah, nothing too crazy. I watched 3,000 Years of Longing. We did a Blu-ray review for that for the podcast. If you haven't checked it out, definitely go check that out. Was not a fan of the movie all that much, but I do, happy and grateful for the opportunity. See that right there, that separates us from that other. We'll talk about it when we get to this movie. So with all that out of the way, with all the pre-chitter chatter out of the way, we got that all out of our systems. Devin, are you ready to dive into this review?
Yes, chef.
Yes, chef. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after this introduction to the menu.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello. Welcome to Hawthorne. I'm Julian Slowick, and tonight it'll be our pleasure to feed you.
The curtain rises.
Over the next few hours, you will ingest fat, salt, sugar, protein, bacteria, fungi, various plants and animals, and at times entire ecosystems. But I have to beg of you one thing. It's just one. Do not eat. Taste. Savor. Relish. Consider every morsel that you place inside your mouth. Be mindful, but do not eat. Our menu is too precious for that. And look around you. Here we are, on this island. Accept all of it. And forgive. And on that note, food.
And we are back. You just heard a little clip of the menu, and the cast is as follows. The director is Mark Mylod, and writers are Seth Reiss and Will Tracy, and stars Anya Taylor-Joy, Nicholas Hoult, and I've always thought it was Ralph Fiennes, but I thought is it Rafe Fiennes?
Yeah, Rafe is what I've heard. It's interesting pronunciation for this Brit.
Very, very, yeah, I would say that's pretty interesting. But hey, we can't piss off the Dark Lord Voldemort himself. So we're just going to say Ray Fiennes all together. And the synopsis is as follows. A young couple travels to a remote island to eat at an exclusive restaurant where the chef has prepared a lavish menu. with some shocking surprises. Oh, very interesting. So the way this is going to break down for everyone out there who may be new to the podcast, welcome. So usually we get into our initial reactions first, which is our non-spoiler section. Then we get into our spoiler section. Then we'll get into our final thoughts and our ratings. And then we'll close on out and say our goodbyes. So I'm going to pass it over to Devin so he can give his initial thoughts of the menu.
Yeah, going into this one, I think we were both pretty excited. Pretty much anything with Anya Taylor-Joy, it's enough to get you at least into the door to watch a movie. Even New Mutants, like, not a good movie, but she was very obviously the best part because she's just a really good actress. And she has that pizzazz, that spark, that star potential. She's a star. She's got the X factor, you can say. But yeah, besides Anya Taylor-Joy being obviously great, I really enjoyed this movie. It was a lot funnier than I was expecting. Based on the trailer, I thought it was going to lean more towards like suspense thriller than comedy, but it's very comedy heavy, which I definitely think helps with the flow of things and helps with the pacing because there's a lot of good jokes throughout and definitely some good laughs. I think the ending leaves a bit to be desired, just because of how everything unfolds, and it leaves you with a lot of questions. Like, I understand keeping the mystery for some of this, like, it's a very mysterious island and restaurant, and these chefs and people are all very mysterious. And I understand keeping some of that mystery, but there's just a lot of questions at the end where you're just like, why did that happen? I'd like some answers. But other than that, very, very sharply written, very just back and forth, a lot of sassiness and just quick-witted responses between these actors and these characters. And it's just fun to take the piss out of high society.
High society. High society. Yeah, I agree with you. When it comes to this movie, first off, let me start with this by saying, I think watching the trailer doesn't necessarily give anything away, but I feel as if whoever is looking to watch this movie to go into it blind, like completely and utterly blind, because I feel like you're going to have the best time with this movie altogether. As for me, I really did enjoy it. I thought, like Devin said, it's sharply written. Anya Taylor-Joy is easily the star. It's nice to see Nicholas Hoult back. He was also in the X-Men there for a while. So, and we got a little bit of, Ralph Fiennes, excuse me, with, being Lord Voldemort himself from Harry Potter. But it was a very fun, like, I guess you can call it a horror. I would say more thriller. I don't really know, though, because it's like...
I say comedy is the first genre that comes to mind.
Yeah, I would say comedy is the first genre. Maybe like, I guess a satire thriller or comedy thriller almost. Because, I mean, people die in movies all the time, but that doesn't classify them as horrors. But I guess it would have... I mean, Rotten Tomatoes has it as a comedy/horror. I would say maybe comedy/thriller, but I mean, yeah, it is what it is. But overall, I really did enjoy this movie. I thought that the runtime was perfect. It comes in at around maybe like an hour 40, maybe hour 45. Felt like an hour and 30 minutes, to be honest. Like, it just breezed by because we're staying in, the same remote island location the entire time, so you're not really changing the sceneries all that much, but overall it had a very eerie vibe to it. I do agree that the ending kind of leaves us with like an abrupt ending, just one of those, make of it as you will. Anya Taylor-Joy is now a final girl, so to speak. I mean, technically she is. I got a little bit of Midsummer almost towards the end, especially.
Already or not.
Oh, yeah. Already or not. But I would definitely say out of anything, this movie just really made me want to get like a cheeseburger.
It's funny. I actually got a cheeseburger before seeing this movie without even knowing. And I went to the most American restaurant ever I'd never been to before. Big Boy. It's near the theater. So I was like, hey, we might as well try it. Never had it before.
So what would you say is the most American, like, all American cheeseburger. Because my mind goes to like, I mean, I guess fast food would be like
obviously
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Yeah. But I guess it depends on where you live because, there's Whataburger, Attaboy, like you said, and it's a few other places. I don't know.
That burger he cooked up was definitely looking pretty nice.
It was looking smashing. But honestly, and of course, the food itself within this movie plays off as its own character as well. Because it's.
I love the title cards. They're just the plate titles.
It was so great. But yeah, the food itself, it is this, posh high society. I think it was a little bit over $1,000 per person to dine with tonight. But, you start to figure out these small little calculations that Ray Fiennes' character starts to reveal.
Kind of got some Saw energy where this madman is bringing these people in because they've done wrongs in their lives and he wants to correct it. Well, most of them. Obviously, Anya Taylor-Joy's character is innocent, and also the movie star. That was one of the funniest parts of the movie where he made a bad movie and that upset the chef so much that he brought him out here to get killed.
That was pure genius. I gotta say that it was. We'll get into spoilers.
Like everyone else is justified why they're there in the chef's eyes to get punished. Especially, I mean, that couple had some issues. The finance bros obviously are working illegally, and Tyler's just gotta go. Tyler's awful. He
really just turned into. Tyler's character, he's pining over Chef Slowick, Ray Fiennes' character. And it's very, he has this big idolization of Chef Slowick. And, he wants to be like him. He's done all this research. He's kind of a foodie in and of itself.
You could tell how much fun Nicholas Hoult was having playing this character.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love Nicholas. It's refreshing to see him in something. It's been a while for me. I think the last time I saw him was in the Tolkien movie, if I'm not mistaken. But I always love seeing Nicholas Hoult. Like, he always brings his A game. And of course, Anya Taylor-Joy, bringing hers as well. This ended up being like a very a fun thrill ride altogether. Like you said, the writing is just so snappy back and forth between, we always talk about how dinner scenes are like one of the best environments when it comes to, these heavy dialogue scenes and, having multiple tables within this like high society establishment really gave us more breathing room. You have multiple tables, all these people having their own separate conversations, and it was a great time. Like, I kind of want to see it again. I want to take my mom to go see it. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'd be a good one.
But was there anything else you wanted to bring up before we get into our spoiler section? Because I feel like we're heading to that point. Because there's a lot to spoil here, for sure.
I just wanted to give a small shout out to the waitress character, Elsa. I thought she was very underrated in this movie. Just kind of her responses were pretty great. The tech bros are like, yeah, we're going to sue this place. We're going to take all your money. And she just goes, no, that won't be necessary.
She just says no. It's like,
yep, no.
Can she do that?
Can we have bread? No. No bread.
No bread. Yeah. And the actress's name played Elsa. Her name is Hong Chow. I believe that's how you pronounce her last name, Chau. So yeah, she did a fantastic job. But let's get into our spoiler section. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is your first spoiler warning for The Menu again. That's your second spoiler warning for The Menu. I actually forgot to add that into the Wakanda Forever review. I was like, uh-oh. I was like, yeah, it's fine. I found a way to work around it. But now that we're in spoiler territory here altogether, I guess the big actually, there's two big twists. The first twist is that, we kind of talked about it a little bit already. Chef Slowick, he has carefully calculated this night and invited every single person to attend this food experience that he's having. And they have all, like you said, pissed him off in one way or another.
No matter how small. You ruined my Sunday.
You ruined my Sunday. My one day off in months and it's funny because well, I guess Cesis actually titled the movie star, but the actor's name is John. I'm gonna butcher his last name if I try it out right now, but
it's Luigi, John Leguizamo.
Oh, John. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. But he kind of says, oh, he's like, I just played the actor. He's like, I didn't direct it or anything. And the chef does not care whatsoever. But yeah, you find out that everyone was invited there to enjoy this elegant night of, this amazing food experience, and that they're all going to die, including the chef himself and his crew. So that's the first twist. And I guess we'll talk about that for a second before we get into the second one. But did you have any other thoughts that you kind of wanted to tackle about that? Or do you feel like we can just move on to the second twist?
Yeah, definitely some cult vibes with this chef crew. I'm curious as to what the background is there. Obviously, I'm glad some of that was left a mystery because that just makes it kind of creepier. Just they're all working together on this island.
Yeah. So do you know there's two interesting producers attached to this movie? We got Mr. Will Ferrell and
I saw those names.
Adam McKay.
Classic duo.
Classic duo.
Mr. Ector is like a top tier TV director. I was looking into his credits. He's worked on Succession, Game of Thrones, Shameless.
Yes, sir.
Once Upon a Time, Entourage. Yeah. Like he's been going at it for a while.
He's been killing in the TV game. Yeah, on the movie side,
this might have been his breakout or movie at least.
Yeah. Oh, that's very interesting. What episode of Game of Thrones did he direct? He was with the Game of Thrones from 2015 to 2017.
He did 6 episodes.
Ooh, man. I got to look into that one. But another time because I'll go down the rabbit hole. But yeah, when it came to the first twist, I thought it was very funny. Not like ridiculous, but
I say the first like real shock was when the sous chef just takes the bullet and
takes the bullet.
That's the actual name of the dish, the mess by Dead Chef.
So for a second, I thought that the chef was going to like kill himself, but the chef almost treated his dishes as if they were lyrics to a song or just a song altogether, because usually, when you're writing a song, there's a pretty big story behind it. But it seemed like there was these interesting stories out or inside of these dishes as well that we kind of learned. But I do agree with you though. I wish we would have gone a little bit deeper into the whole, cult chef thing, because that crew was just following his every single word, almost to the fact where Nicholas Hoult's character idolized him so much that he ended up hanging himself. We don't know what he said to him, but it shook that man to his core.
I love the name they gave to the dish that he made. I forgot exactly what it was. It was just like something like Tyler's shit plate or something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was hilarious. Like, chef told Tyler, he's like, hey, you want to be an aspiring chef? He's like, well, welcome aboard. He was teasing with him. And it's like, it was the funniest thing ever because...
Also, the going back to the tortillas was also a great touch, just showing everyone why they're here, basically. And it showed Tyler taking the picture of the food. That's great.
It almost just a little bit of Squid Game, because you had the little, the sugar. Yeah, but that was a freaky part, especially with the numbers, with the 3 dude bros, with their account information that they've been like laundering more money and whatnot. And I mean, there was a certain like a real threat that was happening here out of nowhere. And that's what I really liked about it. And of course, with Nicholas Hoult's character, he's this wannabe type sous chef, but he doesn't know how to cook at all. Probably wouldn't even know how to make Kraft's macaroni and cheese. But he's retaining all this information. But it's like, and that kind of leads into the the second twist is that he knew. Well, Tyler was supposed to originally bring someone else. I forgot the woman's name, but they split up way before the movie starts, because the movie starts right as they're about to go into the boat. And Tyler invites Margot, Anya Taylor-Joy's character,
who is we find out is a lady of the night, apparently, some kind of sex worker.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say escort people. Yeah, escort.
Well, we never get an official title.
No, we never get an official title. I guess I would say escort, but I mean, escort can mean different things, as we know, as we've learned, from various places. But yeah, so we find out that Tyler knew the entire time that they were going to die tonight, that night. So, and Anya Taylor-Joy just goes off, as she should, because wow, that was crazy. It was so carefully calculated.
They think they get the Coast Guard to help them, but then he's just one of the chefs.
Little gun lighter fluid thing. I was like, oh my gosh.
Gotcha.
Like, I knew something was up. But it was an interesting dynamic between Chef and Margot, because Margot was really just hungry, like for some actual food.
Yeah, bread that's not really bread. It doesn't cut it. Yeah.
And it's funny how Margot just calls Chef out on his BS. He's like, I'm sure, you were a great chef once, saying how, it's no longer a passion, it's an obsession to, strive for perfection. And, all these other, pretentious people, especially the critics, the foodie critics, are just eating this up, saying, oh my gosh, especially with a chef that shot himself, they think it's just a play. Like, no, he's dead. Clearly he's dead. And Anya Taylor-Joy's character kind of just sees through all of that. And
yeah, she sees that picture of him when he started off as a fry cook, just making burgers.
Yeah. Oh, making the burgers. How good was that burger? How good did that burger look?
See, it looked really good, but I was also concerned because earlier in the movie they mentioned how, like, if their meat is like a day older than it should be, then you'll instantly die. So I thought that was going to come into play.
Oh,
I thought that was going to come back, because they never circled back to that. I thought that was interesting. I mean, I guess maybe that could be like, if they were to do like an end credit scene, they could have shown Anya Taylor-Joy like pass out or something because of the meat being 1 day old. That could have been the twist at the end.
Maybe she was, because I feel like she was reacting to something towards the very end. But I was like, I don't know, maybe. But like, this wasn't just like a normal cheeseburger. This was like a double-decker
smash burger
with 4 slices of cheese and 2 patties. Oh, whew. I love that little exchange. She's like,
I'll have this to go.
Even before that, she's like, oh, like a cheeseburger. It's like, you want a cheeseburger? He's like, how do you like it? Well done. He's like, all right. He's like, can I get some fries with that? He's like, does it come with fries? Yeah, it comes with fries.
And he was like crinkle or whatever other type it was.
Yeah. See, I thought she was going to say curly fries. That would have got me. Like, oh, yes, throw in the Arby's curlies. But, and then, she takes a step further. She's playing with her luck here a little bit. And she's like, can I get that to go? Like towards the very end. I was
that's the thing that kind of stuck with me at the end, and why the ending kind of bothered me a little bit, because it's like, why did no one else try that? Why did everyone else just kind of accept their fate? No one even tried to like escape at the end. I was like, it's just kind of weird.
Well, I took it as, because we learned that she was not supposed to be there. She was not a part of the plan. So I feel like there was this understanding between Chef Slowick and Margot that they had, and her.
But if you were in that position, you would try whatever it takes to get out of there. I mean, they just kind of accepted their fate. They were like, okay, we're gonna die.
A few of them did try. I mean, they did try to break the.
I mean, at the very end.
Yeah. Oh, at the very
when they get turned into s'mores, which is also pretty funny, because the chef's just like, s'more is a disgrace to food and cuisine. I was like, I love s'mores. I had s'mores earlier that week at a bonfire. It's a great little treat.
It was funny because like he also called it like the worst like the worst taste for like any palate. Like it's like the worst combination. I'm like, I wonder if that's actually true, but I don't really know. But I don't know. I guess it was just okay. Just saying towards the very end, right before they
just put on the s'mores like clothing and just accepted it. I was like, try something, like do the clap thing like she did, like ask for it to go, just do anything. They just kind of all were like, all right, we're done.
And Anya Taylor-Joy's character Margot, she does look back for a second, and then Judith Light's character Annie just tells her kind of just to go. But I do love how Chef was kind of calling people out on their BS altogether. Oh man, that poor movie star.
All he did is make a bad movie.
And apparently his assistant's been stealing money from him. Towards the end, she's like, I've been stealing money from you. He's like, I know.
And I know you know.
She's like, I know you know. It's like, yes. It's that snappy dialogue, man. That was it's just great. For a second, when I first went into this movie, I thought it was going to be like a whodunit, like mystery, kind of like Knives Out, but it turned out to be something completely different. And I believe this is just a original like movie altogether. I don't think this is based off anything else.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, but let's get into our final thoughts and ratings here. I'll pass it over to you, Devin. What are your final thoughts about the menu, and what is your rating for the film?
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this one. A pleasant surprise. Like I mentioned before, it's comedy above all else, which is not what I was expecting, but I was very happy that's what we got because it's very well written and there's a lot of good jokes throughout. Obviously, Anya Taylor-Joy is the star, but Nicholas Hoult has a lot of fun. Ray Fiennes given some Gordon Ramsay vibes when he called the one lady a donkey. That's all I could think about. Other than that, it's a great cast. It's a well written story. It's creative. It's original. There's a lot to like here. I give it like a solid 86. Like I said before, the ending kind of stuck with me in a negative way, but other than that, it's a great fun time.
So I scored this on Letterboxd as like 4 out of 5. So I guess that would equate to around like an 86, 85% out of 100 for me. I really, really enjoyed this movie. Like I said, I think anyone who goes to see this movie should definitely go into it completely cold. Like don't even watch the trailer. Just watch it and then just watch it unfold. I think it's a fun thrill ride. It's perfect for right before Thanksgiving, which is, since that Thanksgiving is
get you nice and hungry.
Oh, dude, I'm not kidding. Like even the food being as bougie and like pretentious as the food was, or some dishes looked a little bit more meatier than others, but that food looked so good. And I think what really sealed it from it was that cheeseburger.
That's the best part.
Whew, man. But definitely anyone out there watching this, go into it cold, completely cold. Just watch it and let us know what you think at Film Optix. That is Optix with an X for sure. But definitely, I would just give this like same as Devin, a solid 86 out of 100 altogether. Great cast, great writing, great acting, amazing little set pieces as well. Just it was amazing how they were able to kind of push the story forward within, the small little island location that they were at. But yeah, a great horror comedy. And I think I would actually pick this one up on Blu-ray for sure. Just it's just a fun ride. Hour and 46 minutes. Feels like an hour and 30 altogether. But yeah, the movie just flies by. But with all that said, that concludes our review of the menu here on the Film Optix podcast. And if you like what you heard on today's episode, please subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast platform of choice, and make sure to share an episode of our podcast with a friend, whether it be your mother, your brother, or your significant other. Make sure to share an episode of the Film Optix podcast with a movie lover in need. And really quick, before we skedaddle on out of here, I want to let you guys know what's out now for you to listen to and what's coming up on deck. So as of right now, you can listen to our Black Panther Wakanda Forever review that we did here on the channel. I also covered the film over on the Chatter After on their YouTube channel and on the In Session Film podcast. So you can find my extensive thoughts there. And I also wrote a review of Black Panther Wakanda Forever on the In Session Film website. That is insessionfilm.com. And you can also listen to our review of Causeway that came out about a week ago. And you can also listen to our Enola Holmes 2 review that is available on podcast platforms around the internet. And what's coming up on deck, we have our Glass Onion and Knives Out mystery that will be dropping next week, so the following week after Thanksgiving. And we also have our Willow series review that I was joined by Kit Stone. So we're definitely going to be diving into that as well. I'm very excited for everyone to listen to our reactions to the first 3 episodes of Willow, the sequel series, I should say. And with all that said, we hope you guys have a wonderful day, have an amazing Thanksgiving, and we'll see you guys next time. And that's a wrap for today. Thank you all for listening. And if you enjoy the show, leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay in the know. That was Devin. My name is Christian, and we'll see you guys in the kitchen.
Peace, chef.
Peace, chef. Yes, chef.